Hi, good morning, and welcome to Chasing Paradigms. My name is Michelle, and I am the mother in the family. We haven't posted a video on our YouTube channel for a while, and I'm going to explain why. We will be getting back to business shortly, so all will be normal in the future, but something happened to me, and it's a very rare thing, and so I wanted to share it with you. I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done something like this before. My family very healthy as far as when you go to the doctor and they ask you about family history. There's no major cancers or anything. Been a very healthy person. I had 2 healthy pregnancies and no major injuries, no major illnesses. So weeks ago, we had a big stressor happen in our family, and it was something that it really did change my life forever. When this occurred, I felt like maybe my children's livelihoods and our livelihoods were threatened, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I didn't really do any meditation or breathing exercises. I just kind of like let it happen. A couple days later, I noticed that when I went to the bathroom, I had orange urine. Then on Monday, same thing. And I'm drinking the water. I want to make sure that I'm hydrated. Maybe whatever's going on with me will flush out. I took a Epsom salt bath. By Tuesday, I still had orange urine, but when I woke up, I looked in the mirror and my eyes were yellow. I was jaundice and I was scared. I had no pain. I had no, I felt a little bit tired, but I didn't have any weakness. My skin was yellow. So I called my husband and he rushed home and we went to the ER. And with having 2 small children, he just had to drop me off. So I was in there alone. They got me in pretty quickly. Right away, they're like taking blood, urine samples, getting all this blood work done and trying to figure out what's going on. The first thing that they did for me was a scan on my abdomen, and they noticed a couple things, but nothing imminent, nothing that was considered life-threatening. My blood, and this is what initially came back. Of course, with the yellow, my bilirubin was really high. That's your jaundice. You see that in babies. That's when your liver isn't quite functioning correctly. My platelet count, so we have in our body, we have white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. They all work together. Platelets are usually around 150. That's kind of your average low. Like not bad low, but average low. And mine were at 5. And my LDH, usually your LDH is in like the 140s for maybe a healthy adult. I'm a healthy adult, mid 40s. Mine was above 990. And then my red blood cells, instead of being smooth and round shaped, they were jagged. So the doctors knew that there was something going on with my blood. So they were like, we need to get you to another hospital because we don't administer the kind of medicine that you may need. And you can go by car or by ambulance. And by now this is on day 1, I had been in the hospital for about 4 or 5 hours, and I'm just like crying. I didn't know if I was going to die. I didn't know if I was going to see my babies again. It was really hard. I'm texting everybody, texting my husband, and calling. Thankfully, like it's not like a jail, like you get your phones when you're in the hospital. So finally, they said we have a bed available at another local hospital, and when the bed is available, we'll take you by ambulance. And so that was really scary. I've never had an ambulance ride before. I think I was at the first hospital for about 8 hours. Ambulance ride to the next hospital was easy. The paramedics, the EMTs were wonderful, and I was talking to my husband on the phone. We didn't have to go with lights and sirens. That eased me a little bit because I'm like, well, gosh, if I was dying right here, right now, they'd be going a little faster. So then they started testing me at the new hospital. Um, that Wednesday, so this is a Tuesday when I was admitted. Wednesday at the new hospital, they gave me a pelvis and chest CT scan, and I've never had one of those before. So you had to drink the iodine, and then while you're in the scan, they give you the contrasting iodine through your IV. And then that same evening, I had a bone marrow biopsy, and that was really scary because they didn't know if they were looking for cancer, basically. Also, too, they were looking in the bone marrow to see if I was making platelets. Like, why are her platelets at 5? And is she still producing them? The doctor that I worked with at the local hospital, he was amazing. The main blood doctor, he would come in every day and check on me and tell me my numbers. And it was probably not until the 3rd day when he started saying that you're going to be okay. So I was in the hospital for 3 days thinking that I was going to be dying and not knowing what was going on. And again, the stressor that happened at our home, I'm explaining that to everybody. And some people are susceptible to stress. Some people can get stressed out very easily. And I never knew if I was one of those persons. I still don't know. So by Wednesday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm in the hospital, 3 days. They transferred me to oncology. And they suspected that I had a blood disorder. But on my CT scan, it came back no cancer. So as far as visually seeing growth of things in the abdomen and the chest, they didn't see cancer. But we still had to wait for the bone marrow biopsy to confirm. First, the doctors thought that with the blood work coming back, that I was having Evans syndrome, which is similar to what I have or what I've been diagnosed with, but it's another blood disorder. And I was so thankful on Friday, on day 4, my biopsy came back for the bone marrow, and it showed that I was making platelets. So by Friday, I had been given 2 pints of donated red blood, and they did give me a pint of donated plasma. So that all happened to me by Friday. The day before, on Thursday, they started giving me chemo treatment called rituximab, and it's a treatment that is used for cancer, but it also helps treat these this Evans syndrome, diagnosing me with a disorder, a very rare disorder. And I'm going to give you the acronym, and I'm not going to say the full name because it's really long, but please look it up. It is a little bit interesting to learn about. It's called TTP. And so that is another rare blood disorder, and it's in the autoimmune disease family. So what causes TTP in the body is lack of the Adams TS13 blood protein. And your levels for the Adams TS13 usually are in like the 60s or 70s. And these are things when you go to the doctor for your regular physicals that they don't check for. They'll check your regular, like your blood counts, your glucoses, and your LDHs. But the Adams TS13, that test takes a few days longer to come back. They have to keep your blood cold when they draw it from you, so it goes right on ice. So it's a little bit more of an invasive test for the hospital or the doctor's office to do. Mine was at 0. So that is something that can be, the TTP syndrome, it can be inherited or it can be acquired. As being acquired, you could have it if you've ever been pregnant, which I 2 years ago, most recently, was pregnant. And stress can also inflame it or cause it. I had healthy pregnancies. there's a possibility that the stressor that happened in my life inflamed this TTP inside of me and put it in running start, running action. And this is something that we possibly may never know. Maybe the doctors know and they can tell me. So back to Thursday, my treatment for TTP, this is pretty intense. So last Thursday, I had my first chemo treatment called rituximab. I'll get 4 total doses. So I've had 2 already. Now that I've been discharged from the hospital, I'll have 2 as an outpatient. I had to have 6 plasma exchanges. That was really hard for me because it's similar to having a donated organ. Your blood is something that you can donate if you're a healthy adult, especially if you have the rare universal blood. I think it's O negative. Donate blood. The blood banks are short on blood. Knowing that they were short on blood, I got 6 exchanges. So that's 6 different exchanges. Each exchange was 7 pints of blood. And what they do in a plasma exchange is I had to have a port into my neck, and that was in there for about 6 days. And each day they hook you up to the machine, and they come with plasma, and it's the donated plasma, and they withdraw a pint of blood out of my body, and they separate the plasma from the blood, similar to like the dialysis machines, if you've ever seen those. And then they put my blood back with the new plasma. And each day that they would do this, my platelet count would go up. I think I went from 5 to 13 after the first one. And I didn't know how long it would take to get to 150. You don't know. They don't know. That's why they have to keep giving you the transfers. Now that I'm home, I give myself a daily injection of Cablivi that I have to do for the next month. And that drug was just approved in 2019. And then I take a couple of oral drugs. And with that experience, I've never had to self-administer a shot before. And I'm getting better at it. For you people that do that daily, I mean, you all had your first day where you had to do it. You guys are heroes. You guys are keeping your bodies alive by administering that medicine that you need. The Cablivi was interesting because it was approved by our insurance, and the same day it was flown out across the country, literally from one side of the continent to the other in one day for me to have in my house so I can have this life-saving drug. This experience with being diagnosed with TTP and going through this, it was life-changing. My family, we already are on a path to do things differently in our lives. Having 2 young children and seeing the way that the world is, we want to do things differently for ourselves. And definitely for my husband and I, this was a wake-up call that, yes, you have permission to change your lives. You don't have to live your life the way society. And I was in the hospital for 10 days. I had a chance to think about those kind of things. If all goes well, I'll have a lifelong of remission. With TTP, remission chances are very unlikely, especially in older ages. The nurses and the doctors that took care of me at the hospital are amazing. I think I had a team of about 16 doctors trying to figure out what was wrong with me, what kind of treatment I would need for this. The doctor that was working with me, my main blood doctor, this year, we're in August now, he's only seen a couple of these this year. So this is where you come in. You have to donate blood. If you are able to tolerate a needle prick in your arm, it takes about a half an hour. You can donate plasma, that takes a little bit longer. It helped save my life. And there's a shortage because of COVID. Those blood works and the blood bank trucks didn't get to drive around last year and show up at your work site, or show up, and because of that, I was able to come home. My platelet count went up so high, and my Adams T11 is getting higher, and everything that the doctors have done are working. Science is amazing. The other thing that I need you to do is help reduce your stress. This society that we live in today, in 2021 and moving forward, I feel like is only going to get more stressful. There's so much more now that we have to deal with as children, as teenagers, as adults, midlife into elderly, than we ever had before. And I know that there has been crisis in our history, in our world, with our world history. But things don't have to be that way for you, for your family. It could help save your life. So one of the things that I've decided to do for myself, I am an avid user of social media. I love to go on to Facebook and Instagram, and I love to see what's happening in the world. I love to talk to my family and communicate to them. I am the one, though, that I get caught up in the negative and the banter and the facts, the news, and that's just not healthy. That's something that when I was a 20-something adult, we didn't have that, and everybody talked to people. If you didn't see somebody for a month, you could sit and catch up. You didn't have to, like, now you stare at them because you just saw what they just did 2 weeks ago, and you go have coffee with your friend and you don't have anything to talk about. So the end of this week, I'm going to be deleting my Facebook profile. I'm going to be deleting my Messenger and my Instagram. So it's going to be hard for me because I really like the memories that pop up on Facebook. Look, I'm crying about it. That's how much social media is embedded into my life. There are a lot of aspects that I enjoy about social media, but my family, we want to connect back with the world, with nature, with earth, with our family. Our family still does and will produce the YouTube videos. This is something that we're passionate about because we want to share our journey with you. You still will have a way to communicate with me. We still will attempt to do weekly videos. My electric unicycle community, I can't wait to ride. I've told so many people when I was in the hospital about it, and they're just like fascinated. Like, so many people's jaws dropped. Like, you ride a what? Like, what? And I would show them my YouTube video, and my daughter, who she's amazing. I won't be cleared to ride for a few weeks. So I really can't wait. I can't wait to ride again. It's the most funnest thing that I've ever done. I do have a TikTok, and I know it's like, what? You're quitting social media, but you're keeping TikTok. Well, with TikTok, when you're on your phone, this is how easy it is to scroll past the negative. It's literally just like that. Our links for everything will be, I'll be posting this on YouTube and on Facebook, and the links for all of the ways to get a hold of me will be on there. So I know this video is a bit long, and I really appreciate you watching till the very end. I didn't have an end. I had 10 days in the hospital. It was the hardest thing I've ever been through. I have the most wonderful husband. He was there for me every day, and my mother, she came and watched the children every day, and they all bonded in a way that I couldn't have foreseen bonding. The drive home from the hospital, it was terrifying, and I was holding onto the dashboard the whole time. I'm very protective of my body. So with TTP, your blood still clots, but it clots in tiny fashions. So you can show up with little bruises all over, and the medicine that they're giving me is kind of retraining my body how to properly clot again. And I love that it's curable. I'm one of the lucky persons that got to go to the hospital and go home and have some treatment. So anyways, we have an email address and a YouTube channel and a TikTok, and they're all the same name. It's all Chasing Paradigms. For advice for how to change your life, we follow a gentleman called his name is Daniel Prince, and he has a podcast called Once Bitten, and we discovered him through I think like through Twitter or something. But he wrote this book, and my husband brought it to me at the hospital, and I couldn't pick it up the first few days because the title of it insinuates that I'm not choosing life. That's how I felt, and I finally picked it up on day 4, and it's about changing your lifestyle. It's about not having to work a 9-to-5 job. It's about letting your children learn what they want to learn, not what the government schools want to teach your children. And I'm telling you this, you don't have to change your life. Your life could be perfect in the manner that you're living it. But if you feel like something is off, he gives you advice on how to like write lists. And so Daniel Prince's book, it's called Choose Life. And it says on the back, the tools, tricks, and hacks of long-term family travelers, world schoolers, and digital nomads. And again, his podcast is called Once Bitten. I'll make sure to have all these links. And then the last thing that I want to tell you is for learning financial freedom, go to hope.com. My husband has this funny thing that he says. He's like, when we go to Google, we Google our symptoms, we Google the weather, we Google numbers, definitions, but nobody Googles hope.com. Like, that's a huge thing. So check that out. I just want to say thank you for everybody that stayed to the end and listened to my experience about this journey with TTP. Thank you for the people that donated blood. Thank you if you're going to go donate blood. Reduce your stress. Hug your babies. Thank you so much for subscribing to Chasing Paradigms. That's very important to us. All of our subscribers are very important to us. We do this content for you. And if you know somebody that has been diagnosed or treated for Evans syndrome or TTP, share this video with them. It's a journey that I don't ever want to go through again. It was a life experience that I'll never forget. I missed my children while I was gone, and when I came home, it took my son, who's 2, it took him a couple days to kind of warm up to me again, and that was really hard because when you're a toddler, when you're a baby, you change every day, and my daughter doesn't want to leave my side, and it just feels so good to be back with my family and to know that I'm going to survive this and be I'm going to be okay, and so are you. Thank you so much.